In the early 2000s, a brilliant but morally ambiguous hacker emerged, leveraging the digital banking boom to orchestrate one of the most audacious financial frauds. With a history of exploiting financial systems, this individual operated from a dimly lit apartment, surrounded by multiple monitors displaying complex code. Stacks of fake IDs and forged financial documents hinted at a meticulous preparation phase. This mastermind's expertise in hacking and social engineering would soon target a Dutch bank, exploiting its vulnerabilities for millions. The hacker meticulously studied Dutch banking systems, focusing on online transaction loopholes. By analyzing security protocols, they identified a critical flaw: insufficient authentication for high-value transfers. This vulnerability, overlooked during the digital banking boom, became the linchpin of their scheme. The hackers' research revealed that banks prioritized speed over security, creating an opportunity for exploitation. This phase was crucial, as it laid the groundwork for the entire operation. To execute the fraud, the hacker created a sophisticated false identity. Using forged passports, utility bills, and a meticulously crafted digital footprint, they constructed a persona that could withstand scrutiny. This identity was backed by fake social media profiles and even a fabricated employment history. The level of detail was staggering, ensuring that any background checks would yield no red flags. This step was essential to bypassing the bank's Know Your Customer (KYC) protocols. Before risking large sums, the hacker conducted a trial run. They transferred a modest amount from a dummy account to test the system's responsiveness. The transaction cleared without triggering alarms, confirming the exploit's viability. This success was a green light for scaling up the operation. The hackers' confidence grew, knowing the bank's security was as porous as predicted. This small-scale test was the first step toward a much larger heist. To refine the attack, the hacker sought insider knowledge. They bribed a low-level bank employee, obtaining critical details about internal procedures and security measures. The meeting took place in a shadowy cafe, with an envelope discreetly exchanged under the table. This insider information revealed the bank's blind spots, allowing the hacker to bypass additional safeguards. The human element proved to be the weakest link in the bank's defense. With insider knowledge, the hacker bypassed authentication protocols using a combination of phishing and malware. They gained admin access to the bank's transaction system, enabling unauthorized transfers. Command line interfaces displayed real-time execution of their code, moving funds undetected. This phase showcased the hackers' technical prowess as they manipulated the system with precision. The bank's digital infrastructure was now under their control. The hacker initiated the first major transfer, moving a substantial sum to an offshore account under the fake identity. The wire transfer receipt displayed an astronomical amount, marking the culmination of months of planning. This transaction was designed to appear legitimate, exploiting the bank's trust in its own systems. The hacker's patience and precision paid off, as the funds disappeared without immediate detection. To avoid detection, the hacker meticulously erased digital footprints. They used advanced wiping tools to delete logs and alter transaction records. A progress bar, labeled Data Wipe Complete, signaled the success of this phase. The bank's systems showed no signs of tampering, buying the hacker valuable time. This step was critical to maintaining the illusion of normalcy while the stolen funds were laundered. Days later, a junior auditor spotted discrepancies in transaction logs. Unexplained transfers to offshore accounts raised red flags, but initial reports were dismissed as technical glitches. The auditor's persistence, however, prompted a closer look. This marked the first crack in the hacker's scheme. The bank's complacency had allowed the fraud to proceed, but now the net was beginning to tighten. The bank's security teams launched an internal investigation, scrambling to trace the missing funds. Forensic analysts pored over transaction records, uncovering a pattern of unauthorized transfers. A tense meeting in the boardroom revealed the scale of the breach. The hackers' sophistication was evident, but so were the traces they'd left behind. The bank realized it had been conned, and the race to apprehend the culprit began. Instead of fleeing, the hacker grew overconfident. They attempted a second, even larger theft, unaware that the bank was now monitoring transactions. A smug grin crossed their face as they typed, oblivious to the digital trail they were leaving. This arrogance would prove to be their downfall. The hackers' belief in their invincibility blinded them to the mounting evidence against them. Cybersecurity experts traced the fraudulent transactions back to a single IP address. A digital map pinpointed the hackers' location, revealing their hideout. The bank's forensic team had finally cracked the case, compiling irrefutable evidence. The hackers' meticulous planning had been undone by a single oversight. The authorities were now just steps away from apprehending the mastermind. SWAT teams stormed the hackers' residence, catching them mid-operation. The hacker, stunned by the sudden intrusion, had no time to react. Computers and documents were seized as evidence. The raid was swift and decisive, marking the end of the hackers' spree. Justice was now in motion, and the mastermind would face the consequences of their actions. The hackers' trial became a media sensation, with outlets sensationalizing the crime. Courtroom sketches and newspaper headlines depicted the audacity of the scheme. The case highlighted systemic failures in banking security, sparking public outrage. The hackers' motives and methods were dissected, revealing a blend of genius and hubris. The trial was a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities in digital finance. In the wake of the scandal, Dutch banks overhauled their cybersecurity measures. Technicians upgraded firewalls and implemented stricter authentication protocols. The hack served as a wake-up call, exposing the dangers of complacency in digital banking. While the hacker was brought to justice, the case left a lasting impact on financial institutions worldwide. The story ended not just with a trial, but with a systemic shift toward greater security.